Welcome to EP Daily. Today on the show we catch up with Mulder and Scully in the Rundown.
Plus, I don't party anymore, but the new video game Runbow does.
And then it's time for more Marvel heroes in 2015.
I am Magneto, mightiest of all mutants.
Also coming up, we join the Justice League with a review of Thrones of Atlantis, find out if it's fun to bounce for free, get dirty with Hotline Miami 2 Wrong Number, and much more today on EP Daily. Brought to you by EV Games. I'm your host, Marissa Roberto, bringing you the latest in everything cool every single day. I'm about to show you something that the FBI has tried to keep top secret for decades. It's called the Rundown. It's been more than 13 years since the last episode of The X-Files hit the airwaves, but that's about to change. Fox has officially announced the long-rumored revival of The X-Files. 6 all-new episodes featuring David Duchovny and Gillian Anderson are set to begin shooting this summer, with creator Chris Carter back to write and produce. The network hasn't said when the new episodes will premiere, but late 2015 or early 2016 seems like a good bet given the shooting schedule. Fans might be a little disappointed by the fact that there will only be 6 new episodes, but I want to believe that there will be more if those 6 are popular enough. The X-Files isn't the only old show being revived. 24 recently got 12 new episodes, and Twin Peaks is getting a new season next year. I guess going bald can make people do some pretty crazy things. The first official image has arrived of Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor in Batman vs. Superman: Dawn of Justice. It doesn't give too much away, but does confirm that this version of Lex will be bald just like in the comics and the other Superman movies. Eisenberg's take on the character is expected to have a lot in common with his role in The Social Network, where he played Facebook co-founder Mark Zuckerberg, although Zuckerberg has never actually tried to destroy the world. Batman vs. Superman: Dawn of Justice arrives a year from now, and expect to see Jesse Eisenberg as Lex Luthor in plenty of other upcoming DC movies.
I'm not a bad guy.
That's it for the Rundown. Now here to join me for the Rundown conversation is Scott Jones. What are you doing?
I'm showing off my body because I want everyone to see that Henry Cavill, you're not the only Superman out there.
I know.
If he goes down, I don't know why.
It's okay. I can't hate on you for that because I want to be Wonder Woman, and it's just a dream that I'll always have that probably will never come true. But let's talk about Jesse Eisenberg because maybe his dream of becoming Lex Luthor came true?
Well, I don't know if anybody has any dreams of becoming Lex Luthor, but if anyone does, it's probably Jesse Eisenberg, the star of The Social Network. You remember that film? He was great in that. He's been great in pretty much everything, but he's one of these guys. We talked about Ben Stiller recently. Kind of plays the same character again and again. I think he's a great actor. There's obviously a huge intelligence on screen whenever he's acting, and I like watching that. And I think it's pretty good casting. I think this fits.
I like the look though. I like the bicked look on him.
What's the bicked?
The bicked look. You know, the no hair look. Are you gonna try that one out?
Well, I'm probably going to try it out whether I want to or not.
So let's move on now. Let's move on to the X-Files.
Yes.
Mulder and Scully.
Yes, they are back again in the show. Of course, everyone knows this was shot here in the Pacific Northwest, which is where we live and work. And so all of the environments around us, around the British Columbia area, are places where they shot this show, this very famous show. Unfortunately, this isn't a show that occupies a huge part of my own personal history. I was never a big fan of it. I like the concept of the X-Files.
I love the whole coming back with 6 episodes. I think that's a great number.
100%. 6 episodes is the way to go.
Yeah.
And if it does well and people are really loving it and they execute an amazing TV project here, then make more. But I feel like so many of these shows just bite off more than they can chew before they even realize if they got something really cool here. So this is kind of a little test, and I really hope it works out, and I feel inspired to go back and watch all the old shows that I missed.
That's the thing though, even if you haven't watched the old shows, you feel inspired to go back, because when I heard that Twin Peaks was coming out with a new season, I went back and I watched all of Twin Peaks. Well, the first season at least, because the second season gets off the rails a little bit. Okay, now let's move on to a story that you did, something called Runbow?
Yeah, this is a video game, and it's fun, and it's colorful. In fact, here's our report. I'm with Dave Proctor. He's a producer on a game called Runbow. Dave, tell me, what does Runbow mean? Because that's not actually a word.
Runbow's a portmanteau of the word run and rainbow. We put it together because it's a 9-player local multiplayer racing game where the background is constantly changing colors, and if the color of something in the game matches the color of the background, the thing doesn't exist. So if you're on a green platform, background turns green, platform disappears. Very colorful, very bright, very frantic, fun game for you and 8 of your closest friends.
So where did the idea for this come from? What inspired you guys?
We built Runbow at the Toronto Global Game Jam in 2014. We wanted to make a game that made you feel panicked and hurried, like the kind of competitive, crazy screaming that we hear over here. We had an idea for this color mechanic that we'd never seen before. We wanted to see how far we could push it and how much we can actually make a multiplayer experience be as crazy and as frantic and as inclusive as possible.
Now you guys are working with Nintendo on this specifically. What is it like to build a game for this platform?
The 7-year-old Dave is like freaking out on the inside because I'm developing for a Nintendo platform. The business side of me is actually really happy for the amount of support that we've had. They are working with us hand in hand in making sure this gets to the right audience. We have a lot of fun doing this. They have fun playing it. It's a really supportive company.
Nintendo told us to watch the language around Runbow. Why do people want to swear when they're playing this game?
I appreciate that they did that. It is a frustrating game. Even when you're at the very front of the pack, leading the race, there's a chance you could get a pickup that sends you to the very back. You have to try to find yourself in the group of 9 players because it's a very large audience game. We have a power-up that makes one person look like everybody else, so suddenly you lose yourself. We have power-ups that turn all the colors black and white. When you think you're in the most control, it's where our cleverly crafted randomization takes that away from you.
So if your 7-year-old self could be here and see this game in action, what would he say? Go ahead and regress for just a second.
Let's take it way back. He would just like scream in a level that would be inappropriate for this microphone in front of me. He'd probably also go over and play Mario and Donkey Kong, to be honest with you, but I think he'd have a good time.
Interesting find there.
There was a very colorful buzz surrounding that game at the GDC.
Oh, I get it, because it's not Rainbow, it's Runbow. Clever girl.
I'm not a girl. And listen, I've got another story on a game set in the Marvel Universe, but it's coming up after the break.
Welcome back to EP Daily. Can't wait for the Avengers to get back together? Well, then you might want to check out Marvel Heroes 2015. Scott got the latest on the game.
I am Magneto, mightiest of all mutants. You will pay.
I'm here with Dave Brevik. He is the CEO of Gazillion Entertainment. They are working on Marvel Heroes 2015. Dave, tell me what's new and different in this Marvel Heroes?
Well, all sorts of things. The game came out about 2 years ago, and we've been continually updating it. We patch every week, so there's a wide variety of differences. The game has changed radically from the very beginning. It's free to play. You can download it, go on, give it a try. There are 45, I think, heroes now in the game that you can play. It's a fun action RPG.
I am Groot.
Are there certain heroes in the game that you might have more of an advantage playing as other than other heroes?
For gameplay purposes, we try to balance them as equally as possible, but inevitably it's tough to completely balance everything, so some of the heroes are maybe a little bit more powerful than others. For instance, Hulk just got a review and he's the strongest in the game right now, so it's kind of fun that it fluctuates and changes all the time because it's a live, dynamic environment.
What makes Gazillion the right team to build this game?
There's my personal background is I was president of Blizzard North for 10 years and I made Diablo, so I know a lot about action RPGs, and making a Marvel action RPG was something I dreamed of for a long time, and I love Marvel and I love the IP, and so combining those two great loves and making that game, I think that we are the perfect team to do this product.
No use resisting.
This is a big shift away from Blizzard Entertainment. Are you surprised by how much the game industry has changed, especially in the last 10 years?
Yeah, it's changed a lot, because when I started Blizzard North in 1993, it was a much different industry then. It has changed a lot, but I'm really liking a lot of the changes. I think that the social part and the community is a much bigger aspect than it ever has been, and so doing things like I stream the game personally on Twitch 3 or 4 nights a week, and I answer questions and interact with the community, and those things just weren't even available 15, 20 years ago. And so I really enjoy where the industry is right now, and I think that I'm evolving with it. At least I hope so.
Well, now that we've had a story set in the Marvel Universe, it is time, according to the network's rules, to have a story set in the DC Universe.
Okay, well, this works so perfectly then, because now we can go to your review of Throne of Atlantis, now out on Blu-ray. Oh, is that supposed to be a conch shell?
Yeah. A couple of weeks ago, Vic gave me a Blu-ray. It's just, why are you laughing? It's Justice League, Throne of Atlantis. And I said, Vic, why the hell are you giving this to me? Because he's like, it's going to be on the show. And I said, that's it. Here's my resignation once again. You know, I like superheroes. And especially I like Batman a lot. So Batman's in this. I know him. And there's also Superman. I've seen him before. And there's not a lot of fiction right now. I mean, I guess in my world, in your world for sure, about Aquaman.
This is a movie that kind of lets Aquaman take center stage. It's his origin story. But he is a character that doesn't really get the respect that I think he deserves because he's a cool character. This is a movie that endeavors to try to show that, but I'm curious.
He's so cheesy. That's part of the reason why I think he doesn't maybe get as many movies as Batman and Superman.
Hold on. Okay, let's go.
One of the things I liked about this was the sort of unexpected notes. Like when you first see Aquaman, you don't know he's Aquaman yet.
Yeah.
I kind of did though. But
he's Arthur Curry.
He's drunk in a bar talking to a lobster in a lobster tank.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, that sounds funny. And I probably made a lot of you go see this thing after giving you that description, but that's really the end of the efforts at humor here. Shazam has some funny moments too, I guess.
Yeah, and I like that.
He's kind of a jerk.
Yeah, Nathan Fillion is reprising his role as Green Lantern, and he's got some moments. The Flash has got some moments. You know, I think Shamar Moore does a pretty good job as Cyborg. I don't really like Jason O'Mara as Batman. You know, the story is cool, and I like that we get to kind of unravel the mystery of where Arthur Curry discovers that he is this future king of Atlantis, and we also get to find out his half-brother is a real jerk, played by Sam Witwer. He's playing a character named Ocean Master.
We must protect our people and attack!
Two things that I have to complain about that are legit. All the superheroes in this thing, looks like their heads are just sitting on top of these giant round pillows.
Right.
So their heads just keep going up, and then there's a neck that goes here, and then there's another neck, and then there's the head on top of that. I'm like, what is wrong with all these guys' bodies?
Well, they're designed after the look of the New 52 comics. So
I don't care what the reasons are.
They've got a very specific
weird
kind of art style. It's tied to the Jeff John comic, and also what's happening now with the DC animated, they're all interlocked, so the characters progress and the stories progress, and the events that occur will then play out in future Warner Brothers direct-to-video movies.
Nodded off a little bit.
Okay, well, that's what's happening.
The other thing is the Sam
Come
Witwer,
back to us. You can do it. Modern day Fonzie.
The Sam Witwer character, he has a weird mask on where the eyes, I'm like, how can he see through those things? The eyes are way up there.
He's got eyes in the middle of the
So they're
the
down
thing.
in the eyes are in the mouth?
Yes.
Anyway.
I dug the movie. I'm not a huge Aquaman fan. This didn't make me the hugest Aquaman fan, but I actually like Matt Lanter as the character. I thought he did a decent job. And they did a better job than I was expecting.
Even the way you say Aquaman, it's kind of exotic.
Aquaman. Yes. Yeah, I'm giving it a 7.5. How about you?
This is not for me. I'm going to give it a 4.5.
Okay.
Another review that Vic and I did not agree on. Business as usual.
Hey, after the break, I'm teaching you how to bounce.
You're weird.
You're just realizing that now?
EP's mobile coverage is brought to you by GameLock, makers of Dragon Mania Legends, which you can play for free right now.
Ketchup is really great at making these simplistic, abstract-looking games, and they've got a new one called Bounce. It is free in the App Store. In this one, you are playing a ball that is bouncing, and all you need to do is tap one side of the screen or the other to move the ball going up. Now, you level up by passing the green. You have to break through the green lines. It is actually quite difficult to maneuver, especially just jumping into it, and I'm using jumping into it because we are bouncing. You can change the color of the ball and then jump on certain enemies. The enemies are just represented by these vibrating bricks because everything is very simplistic in this game. I love it because it's just a quick jump in and play type deal, but you know that I never like paying for these games that are supposed to be free, and in this game there are advertisements. It's a banner at the bottom of the screen, and the bottom of the screen banner actually gets in the way in this game. You can't see if there's a platform that your ball can land on to help you propel and get further. So I'm not going to keep playing it only because I don't want to pay to remove the ad. I know I keep the purse strings tight. I'm going to give Bounce a 5 out of 10.
Nice bouncing there, Roberto. Now it's time for us to move on to some darker material. Here's a review of the most controversial game of the year so far. It's Hotline Miami 2, Wrong Number. Hotline Miami Wrong Number is upon us. I was waiting for this day. Very excited. This is published by our good friends at Devolver. Of course, created by Denton. Once again, you get a very dark game. The last time we played this, I remember I enjoyed the conversation we had that day.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering if I'm going to enjoy this one too.
It was creepy the first time, and it made us feel a little uncomfortable when we were playing.
Yeah, I
and
wasn't right when I
was
played this game.
So hyper-violent, and you know what? That's exactly the same and exactly true with Hotline Miami 2 here. It's incredibly violent. The environments are much more vast and wide open. It's all from an overhead perspective, rudimentary graphics that are rooted in 8-bit design. Eugene Jarvis built lots of games that are similar to this. Basically, it's a dual-stick combat experience. You're not always just shooting. There's lots of different melee weapons and things like that that you get into. And you're taking on really awful mafioso types, some gang members that you're having to basically slaughter throughout this game.
You know what I love about this is the fact that it is very crude, graphically speaking. I mean, you're just seeing huge pixels. But it's funny, my brain fills in the blanks.
Yeah.
Weirdly enough. And, you know, I never really understood why I loved the first Hotline Miami so much. But I did love it, and I didn't feel good when I played it, but I still kept playing it. And there's a darkness in this game, a weird gravity that kind of pulls me in. And the same is true of Wrong Number. I started playing this thing. It's more difficult than the original
Way
game,
harder,
which was very difficult to begin with. And you really have to get in there, and you feel this despair and hopelessness. When you first start a level, you start finding where all the guys are.
Yeah.
You're right, the levels are so huge, you can't always see where the guys are, so you'll think you've cleaned out a room, and then a guy will come running out of nowhere and just level you, and you start all over again.
Which
and
is
you
so
do it.
frustrating,
And
but you do it.
You feel, and you're glad to do it again. You think, oh, now I got to go through all this again. And the next time you get a little closer and a little closer.
Yeah.
And finally, you beat these incredibly challenging levels, and you don't ever feel great about it.
Well,
but you feel like you overcame something.
There's an arcadey exhilaration that happens there, and this is really like jumping back into Midway's old Narc. Remember how violent and crazy that was?
I'm not as old as you. I don't remember that one.
Okay, all right. Well, we'll have a fireside chat about that soon. But no, it was like mixing in Narc or Smash TV, some of those kinds of elements. If this game didn't have the gameplay chops, the arcade old school chops that it does have, you wouldn't be playing it again and again. It would frustrate you to no end, and you would just throw your controller down in a fit of rage. But it's got that in there.
You're talking about the mechanics specifically, and you're right. When you do fail, it's usually not your fault. It's because your gameplay skills, I mean, mine are great, but they still weren't enough for this game.
Yeah.
But the mechanics are on point through the whole thing. There's something kind of obtuse about it, and it takes a couple hours, I would say, before you can quite wrap your head effectively around how the controls work, around how you need to maneuver the cursor and how you need to maneuver your guy at the same time. But you do get good at it. You get better and better. You make more progress. I mean, this is one of those games where I play one level a day, and then I move on with the rest of my day. And even that one level I try to do, usually it takes about an hour.
Yeah, and it takes a long time for you to recognize that the weapons aren't what makes you so powerful in the game. You're just as effective silently creeping around and taking out everybody. And that's easier said than done, because they'll just turn around, shoot you once, and you're dead. And it's Splatter City all over the place. It is an expertly crafted game. It's very, very similar to the first game.
I still don't understand why this works so well.
It does
why it's
work.
so addictive.
I think it's got the VHS aesthetic. You see lots of video distortion on
I
there.
love the music in there.
The music is really oppressive, and it's like Tangerine Dream through chiptunes or something like that. It's a cool game. It's oppressive and it makes you feel awful, but it's still super fun.
No other game that makes me feel the way that this game makes me feel and the way that the previous one made me feel.
Yeah, the only complaint I have about this is that it just feels like more of the same. And if you had enough with Hotline Miami 1, that's okay too, you know?
Yeah, there is something unique there, and I think it's kind of special, and I want to celebrate that. This is a 10 out of 10 for me.
Really? You love it that much?
I really did.
He gets an 8 from me.
True story. I've been shopping for a zebra mask ever since I played that game. And coming up next, we've got the Twitter question of the day.
If you want more EP, go to our website, epn.tv, for bonus content and full episodes. We're also on Facebook and Twitter.
Welcome back to EP Daily. It is time now for my favorite part of every episode. It's the Twitter question of the day, and today's question comes from Michael Finlayson. He is at Pickaroony. I like that Twitter handle there.
Good one.
His question is, what TV actor/actress does not get the recognition they deserve? And then he says, my vote is Walton Goggins on Justified. You're a Justified fan?
I watched the first season. I didn't keep up with it though, and I should have because it's a really good show. I like how you use the hashtag Twitter question of the day though. That's actually really useful when we're searching for these Twitter
Very
questions.
nice, Michael. Thank you.
I don't keep a running tally of the people that I feel deserve recognition, although I guess I should, but I've been watching a lot of television lately. So the latest show is Silicon Valley. I'm catching up on that. And I think the guy that plays Dinesh, it's Kumail Nanjiani. He's hilarious. He does stand up as well, but he's really funny in the show and deserves more recognition.
I gotta watch that Silicon Valley show.
Yeah,
Everyone's talking about it. And listen, my pick, Abe Vigoda, he played Detective Fish on Barney Miller. No, I'm just kidding about that. I want to pick Allison Williams from Girls. I've been watching Girls obsessively this season. Maybe I'm obsessed with Adam Driver a little bit.
I thought maybe you were obsessed with.
I'm a little obsessed with Allison Williams.
Yeah,
for
okay,
sure.
I
Yeah, I'm
thought
writing a
so.
little fan fiction for you, Allison.
Goody. Listen,
Yeah.
EP Daily is done for another day where you can check out full episodes, extended interviews, previews, reviews, and everything else we do all at epn.tv.
And we've got more EP Daily coming at you soon. This is our behind-the-scenes look at the film Get Hard. And it's a movie, not Viagra.
Oh, great. Thanks for watching.
EP would like to thank its sponsors, Nintendo, Xbox,
It's a journey of two men who have no like or understanding of each other on either side of the world, and we get brought to a position where we're forced to understand and relate.
I'm going to be attending San Quentin.
They're sending you to San Quentin? Yeah, damn!
Teach me how to survive in prison the way you did.
Wait, what?
I could pay you.